Very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Tuesday class, 27 January 2026. As usual, we will be continuing our sharing from this book. The wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta. We are at page 802. Okay, as usual, let us gather for physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the saddha virya, that mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 准提菩萨 Namo 准提菩萨 Namo 准提菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatthana เวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกันนาสารปะดิเทนะดิเพนะตามาตังสีนะติโลกาดิปังสัมบุตตังปูจายามิตามโมโนดังกันทะสัมบารายุตเตนะดุปเปนะหังสุกังหินะปูจาเยปูจานิยังตังปูจาปัจจานะมุตตมังวันนากันดากุโนเปตังเอตังกสุมาสันตตินปูจายามิมุนินดาสสิริปาดาสโรโรเหเจมิปตังกสุเมนาเนนะปุณเนนะมัตเตนะเจโหตุโมขังปุปังมิลายติยตาอิดังเมกายโยตตายติวินาสภาวังอาดิวาเสตุโนบันเตปานิยังปาริกาปิตังอานุคัมปังอุปาดายะปาติกันหาตุมุตตมังอาดิวาเสตุโนบันเตปาเลปาริกาปิตังอานุคัมปังอุปาดายะปาติกันหาตุมุตตมังอาดิวาเสตุโนบันเตโภจานังปาริกาปิตังอานุคัมปังอุปาดายะปาติกันหาตุมุตตมัง Now let us chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses of the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami or generosity and the fruits of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculty of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer of merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu. Let's pay respect to Puja. Bedang Pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Awareness-based meditation is the most important, especially for those who have not developed it or they are still new. You have to do your very best to stabilize this inner awareness within. So cultivating this awareness-based meditation is the most important for you to progress, for you to develop the foundation, for your mind to be mindful, stabilize it to be ever mindful, leading to heedfulness. You need to train. The moment you train and you succeed in developing it, you will progress very fast. That's the reason why this awareness-based meditation is the most important. So like the words man, awareness-based meditation is a meditation that trains your inner awareness so that you can develop it and stabilize it. You can actually approach it from the traditional way where they make use of a skillful means to develop it, which is more traditional, but most people who don't have the understanding cannot develop it. They end up misunderstanding what it is, and most of them end up doing thought-based meditation. They instead develop the method, technique, and whatever verbalization to develop it. And some develop, instead of awareness, the focusing, the concentration, because the object of meditation is supposed to anchor your mind so that it is not heedlessly lost in thought. But you anchor the mind to develop mindfulness. Instead of doing that, they follow different instructions, do a lot of unnecessary verbalization, and this instruction to meditate become thought-based. Then they know, they focus, they concentrate. Then some, they do all the other type of what they call thought-based approach. That's why they can't really develop it successfully. And all this thought-based meditation, they have been followed for so long. That's why it's very difficult to unwind this type of habitual doing. But if you have been doing some form of traditional approach based on development of mindfulness, like anapanasati, or the so-called awareness of whatever object of meditation that you have, then it's okay. You can make use of that to develop the inner awareness, then stabilize it. But ultimately, it will lead you back to the same final product, which is the silent mind in pure awareness, without thought. But it's a free mind. It's not a conditioned mind. It's not a conditioned state where you focus, you develop the concentration, or what they call absorption. So all this will lead to deep concentration, or sometimes they call it apana samadhi. the absorption or the concentration become like too deep. Instead of approaching it to realize upachara samadhi, means assess concentration before one goes into appana samadhi. But an easier approach will be developing the understanding that the moment you are silent without thought, you are already aware. So what you need to do is to just relax body and mind, maintain the inner peace or silence within. And we simplify it by teaching you to develop the four support to support the arising of inner awareness within your own mind. So the first support is always relax body and mind, be at ease. Don't try to think, don't try to know, don't try to verbalize. Just silence your mind. Relax. Whatever mind state arises, relax into it. Whatever meditative concentration arises, also relax into it. So the key is to relax into every mind state that arises, so that tension does not build up, concentration does not build up. Instead, you are just aware. That's why the second support after you learn how to relax is to maintain awareness. Just aware. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything. But as a human being, we have our six sense bases. So sense data will impinge upon them. It's okay. When it impinge means upon contact, that consciousness, the respective consciousness can arise. It can be tactile consciousness, or thought consciousness, or hearing, smell, taste, tactile, or seeing. When it arises, just aware, finish. Don't let that thought continue. Don't let the thinking proliferate and continue until you become lost in thought. You just maintain awareness and let it be. Aware, finish. Let it pass, let it cease. Don't follow. So relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize this inner awareness by continuously maintaining awareness at every moment of sense experience. Whatever arises, just aware. Then not long, it will help you develop the ability to allow your mundane thinking, your mundane mind that has been habitually developing the thinking, the stirring and the reaction to sense experience, to come to a slow movement. It's like slow down the thought by itself, slow down, until suddenly you can sense that your mind has become very quiet, like no more thinking. The momentum of heedless thinking has already slowed down and finally ceased. You can realize that, my nature will subdue you. But that is the beginning of awareness. The moment is slowed down and stopped, then you can realize your true mind, which is your silent mind, your inner awareness nature, the pure awareness nature within. And if you can stabilize that, you become very, very different. You can become ever mindful after that. So this awareness-based meditation can help you develop heedfulness. Initially, it allows your mind to settle down and become very quiet and still. Means by not doing anything, your mundane thinking will return to its original state before the arising of thought. Our true mind, the silent mind, before we develop the thinking, is originally the tranquil, still mind. And when you can be in that state, you will experience the inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness without thought. That is the purpose of awareness-based meditation. Okay, and for those who have already developed it, stabilized it, you can move on to the fourth support. For the fourth support is very easy. You can just relax body and mind, silence everything, and maintain awareness at the heart area, around your chest, heart area. Just relax, maintain awareness, and let the awareness detect whatever vibration, or your heartbeat, or any movement, phenomena within your heart area. When it detects, stay there. Maintain awareness there. Don't try to do anything. Then let it move on its own. The fourth support is trust. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movement. No more thought directing it or doing. We are all doing is by the thought. All knowing is by the thought. That's why I say don't try to know, don't try to do, just relax, maintain awareness, and let it stabilize. Then not long, you are patient. Your mind will become very quiet, very still. Then all of a sudden, when the causes and conditions are ready, when you can really let go of all thinking and stay in that state of non-proliferation of thought process, non-thinking activity, then this silence within can allow you to detect the gateway to your nature. Even know what to do. When it detects, a lot of things will happen. The most beautiful things will happen. It's like initially all of your external yin-yang energy will melt into it and flow through your nature. Then the byproduct is pure energy that will activate your internal movement, internal meditative movement. It is already wise. It knows what to do. It will activate your internal nadis and chakra or whatever. It will develop those movements. For those who have the ability to do it, they will understand. And the whole movement is so beautiful. Especially when you are newly able to do it. You realize this style of awareness-based meditation is so different. It can lead you to such beautiful mind state. A free mind without thought, and yet a lot of beautiful things are happening within. So with that, I will let you develop the meditation on your own. I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. Then I will sound the bell 3 times once the alarm is up. Okay, and let you meditate on your own. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of your meditation. try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Stabilize these mind states so that you can be mindful in the midst of life, so that your daily mindfulness is very stable. Okay, turn to page 6 of the chanting book. We will do the invocation to the Devas. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which is heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanayiko Pachyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Jadikaraniyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Kasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. We shall now continue from where we stopped. We are at the commentaries. The Tathagata has already left the burning house of the three rhymes. Means the Tathagata is the Buddha, has already left behind. The burning house is like samsara within the three rhymes. The sensual rhyme, the form rhyme, and the formless rhyme. So these are the three rhymes within the 31 plane of existence, or living beings. Then in serene solitude, the word is solitude and serene. The Buddha said, I dwell at ease in forests and in the field. The Buddha is at ease and has attained self-mastery. He need not exert himself in toil. He dwells in deep stillness, which is comparable to cultivating in the forest and the field, far from the turmoil of the world, enjoying tranquility and bliss. So this one is to let you understand that the Sammasambuddha is a very special being in the sense that he has completed all his perfection and cultivation, and he has developed all the requisite blessings, wisdom, and field of merits. Means he has perfected himself all aspect of cultivation, and you can say at that time he is the wisest and the most virtuous living being ever to arise. Then for him, because of his perfection and self-mastery, he is at ease in forest and in the field. Means wherever he is while in the world, he is always in the state of serene solitude within. Means the mind is with that nature. And like what Hsuan tried to explain, he is at ease. Means at all times he has got no problem because of the wisdom and has attained self-mastery. So he need not exert himself in toil. Means while going through life, existing in society, all those things, he is completely at ease and without problem. Then, of course, here Hsuan says he dwells in deep stillness, which is comparable to cultivating both in the forest and in the field, far from the turmoil of the world. Of course, here he says enjoying tranquility and bliss. In a certain sense, it may be true, but his mind, because he's always in that state of tranquility, stillness, the Sammasambuddha has already developed the perfection and the cultivation. So the mundane mind no more after he realized the enlightenment, and after he inherited all the cultivation and perfection. So his mind state is different. That's why he can be in that state of what we call stillness, tranquility, because he's always with the pure awareness nature, without much thought activity. He only uses thought when necessary. Then he don't have problem at all. He understands perfectly well all of the causes and conditions within the existential world, the conditioned world. That's why although the mind is always like that, but it doesn't mean that he's enjoying. The word enjoying may not be an appropriate word. He has this tranquility, stillness, or you can say he experienced that type of mind, which to normal people is blissful. But because of the wisdom and the understanding, he is always in that state, equanimous, peaceful, tranquil, and still. So these are the very unique characteristics of the mind of the great beings, especially Sammasambuddha. Then the next part of the sutta says, now the three realms belongs entirely to him, the Buddha. Meaning, although the Buddha has escaped the burning house of the three realms, means our 31 plane of existence. Yet the 3 rhymes are now his responsibility. This correspondent corresponds to the earlier line of the verse saying that the old house belonged to a man. So it's the same meaning. Then the sutta says, and all the living beings therein are his children. But now this place is filled with calamities. We are samsara is like that. So the commentary said, now in the 3 rhymes there are many calamities, hardships and difficulties, including the danger associated with poisonous creatures as savage beasts. Then the sutta continues, and I am the only one able to rescue them. So meaning the world-honored one, or the Buddha, is the only one who can rescue these living beings. It doesn't mean that other enlightened beings cannot, but they cannot do the work like the Sammasa Buddha. The Buddha say that all living beings are his children, but there are some living beings who do not recognize their own father. They slander the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Would you say they were unfailure? You say, well, the Buddha might say, we are his children, but that is not necessarily the case. Then Shenhua say, I ask you, if the Buddha is not your father, ultimately who is? I already have a father, you protest. I do not need another one. That father is your worldly father, or maternity father, who is not related to you through the karmic retribution. The Buddha is your transcendent, pure and great compassionate father. He is undefiled. If you can recognize your transcendent father, then in the future you too can attain purity and be free from all defilements. Do not run away and fail to recognize your own father. Later on, the sutta will describe the poor son who ran away from home and no longer recognized his father. Now we are all like the poor son who ran away. Our father tells us to come home, but we think, he is not our father. We do not even know who our own father is. So this one is an analogy by Master Shenhua. What he's trying to explain is that living beings are so heedless, so deluded. It's just like before we study the Dhamma, before we cultivate, we do not really have the understanding. So we didn't know that the true mind is our enlightened nature within. That one is without duality, without thought, nothing. That one is not the mundane mind, that is our pure awareness nature. But then we are constantly conditioned into heedless thinking, lost in thought. So much so we forgot that we had a nature within. That's why the analogy is like you have forgotten from where you come from. Okay, we go back to the notes. Okay, the next part of the sutta. Verse correlating the elders choosing the card over the table. Verse correlating the cast aside of the table. Then verse correlating the use of the card. Okay. Although I instruct them, they do not believe or accept it. They are deeply attached to desire and passions. Commentaries. The meaning of, although I instruct them, they do not believe or accept it is, although the Buddha teaches living beings by various skillful means, those who do not give rise to faith are not persuaded by his teaching. Why do they believe? They are deeply attached. Why don't they believe? Because they are deeply attached to desire and passion. All these living beings are too firmly entrenched in many kinds of desire. There are many kinds of desire, cravings. Some people covet wealth. They desire more and more money. Other people desire sex. Still others are greedy for fame and want a good reputation. They want to be world-renowned. Some people crave good food. Some people want to be a global leader, head of state, emperor or president. Have you noticed how many people run for office, for election? They all desire to be leaders. These various desires obscure their wisdom. They think only of how to fulfill their desire. In thought after thought, they cannot forget about them. Desire can smother people's wisdom. Those who harbor desire will not have genuine wisdom and will do all sorts of confused and foolish things. So this one refers to craving, attachment, delusion, grasping, clinging, holding on to all this phenomenal world of consciousness. Like the analogy I shared, the four circle formation in the Surangama Sutta. You see, the fourth circle, which is our existential world, or what we call the phenomenal world, that one, like I say, is enticing. It entices and deceives the living being. Yeah. Then it causes living being to attach, cling and grasp and give meaning to everything that arises. That's why all those born of heedlessness, heedless thinking, greed, hatred and delusion, especially Sakayaditi, they will create all the wrong thought that entangle them to all the karmic negativity. That's why they will try to get things their way through negative means, negative tendency, not in accordance with nature's law that governs life and existence. Because of that, they entangle themselves severely with the karmic process. And because of that, they suffer without them knowing that that is suffering. But short-term gains, short-term advantages, and short-term glory and fame drive them to strive very hard, or to even by unscrupulous means to gain all those special status, fame, and even titles. Like Senua say, they actually strive to become head of state, leaders, head of governments, then world champion and all those things. So all these are the different type of pursuit that people have through what they call ambition, led by mainly status, craving, greediness, selfishness, to gain all this so that they have power. Then when they have power, they do a lot of wrong thing, negative thing. That's why there is this saying, power corrupts. The more authority you have, the more power you have, you don't have the Dhamma, you tend to go the wrong way. Then you have also weakness, I think, in the world. Not only in our country, everywhere. Corruption is like a very severe disease. And all this corrupt practice come from selfishness, from that desire, that craving to become wealthy, to take advantage of situation and the population, the country and the people. That's why they tend to have that tendency to just rob everybody, have no concern or love for the country, for the nation, or for humanity. And they are willing to break the laws to do all this. So this phenomenal world of consciousness, this is the one that lures living being, entices living being to grasp, cling and fight for all these positions, to develop the fame, the status and all those things. So this is why I said the phenomenal world of consciousness, if you don't have the Dhamma and the wisdom, is a chaotic world. Very chaotic. That's why within the chaotic world, we have a lot of conflict, a lot of war, a lot of misunderstanding, then a lot of suffering. The extreme poverty still exists, despite the progress that most of us have gone through. And many countries has actually developed quite well. Some are in the developing stage, some are in the developed status or state. But yet, within this developed economy and all those developing economy, there are so many poor people, malnutrition people. Then a lot of them are facing unnecessary conflict, wars, even famine, nature's disaster. So it's hard nowadays to have a good government that care for the people. There are, but very difficult to find. And most of these governments, they have their shortfall, their what they call shortcoming. So there are few very sincere leaders who really serve the country and the people. So because of this, the lack of understanding of what is going on, this attachment, clinging and craving leads to what the world is today. That's why Shen Ho also put it that way. Then I read on these various desires obscure their wisdom. They think only of how to fulfill their desire. Oh, we finish all this. Okay, I read to the end. Their mind becomes so dominated by all this desire and craving, so much so that they become extremely dull-headed. Their greed for fame, benefits, sex and food, as well as their desire for leadership, their mind becomes so dominant by this craving and desire that they become extremely dull-headed. Even though the Buddha teaches the Dhamma to them, they do not believe it. This is just like many young people nowadays who resort to taking drugs, satisfying another form of desire. When they are on drugs, they lost their ability to reason, and their genuine wisdom is gone. They live each day as if drunk or in a dream state, and have no idea what they are doing. This is because their wisdom has been buried beneath desire and is unable to nurture it. Using skillful means, I speak to them of the three vehicles. So these three vehicles you all know, the sound hearer vehicle, the Pachika Buddha vehicle, and the Bodhisattva or Supreme vehicle. So the first two vehicles are mainly the sainthood way and the Pachika Buddhas. Whereas the third vehicle is for the cultivator of Sammasambuddhahood. They are the Bodhisattva vehicle. Bringing to the attention of living being the suffering of the three realms. So through this skillful means and provisional teaching, he teach the three vehicle teaching. I teach and expounded the path of transcendence. If these children set their mind to it, they will perfect the three spiritual insights and the six spiritual penetration or powers. Some may become Pachika Buddha and other irreversible Bodhisattva. Irreversible Bodhisattva means you will not fall back. You will not fall back. I think in Mandarin, Mahayana, they say, you reach the state of cultivation where you don't fall back. Puttui Pusa. So we go to the commentaries. Using skillful means, the Buddha speak to them of the three vehicles, like I have explained. Because living beings are so deeply immersed in their desire, the Buddha has to put aside the genuine Dhamma or the Supreme Vehicle teaching and teach expedient Dhammados. He speaks of the Savaka Vehicle, means the sound hearer, and the Pachika Buddha Vehicle. Then the Bodhisattva Vehicle. This is called setting aside the permanent to use the provisional. The Buddha does not teach the eternal teaching, but employ provisional Dhammadao. He employs provisional wisdom instead of ultimate wisdom. I mentioned earlier that nowadays many young people are taking drugs. They take them and get very confused, thinking, wow, I have gone to empty space. Some people who come here tell me that they have gone into emptiness. Isn't that stupidity? They even claim that a teacher has certified them or certified their attainment of empty space. As mentioned before, this is truly a case of a confused one. Transmit confusion to his disciple. None of them understand the teaching. When the teacher plummets into hell, the disciple follow right away. I believe this must be a Mandarin stanza or saying of the Mahayana. So it's like the you call one the deluded one, teaching the deluded one, the blind leading the blind, the blind leading the blind. So the blind himself cannot find the way, and he lead another blind who wants to find the way. That's why it's no way. To attain the state of emptiness or to realize emptiness, one doesn't need to take drug. You know why the analogy is this. Because drug can give you ecstasy, hallucinate. Nowadays the new type can make you shake head on, you see. So there are a lot. But it is to stimulate your brain, understand? But it's an addiction. Then you suffer a lot after the effect is over. Then you get yourself entangled, where it's like addicted to it. It's just like a lot of worldly people. When they have problem, you know what they do or not? They go and drink. They go and drunk themselves. Actually, it's already having suicidal thought and all those things. And they think by drinking, and when they get drunk, they can forget about the whole situation. But actually, after you become drunk and you go through that process, you become miserable with it. Because the first thing, the side effect is, you vomit like anything, and you lost your ability to be sober. You become heedless. And within that state, your consciousness is affected. You don't have clarity. And you can do the wrong thing, break all the 5 precepts, and get yourself entangled more and more. And the worst is, you intoxicate yourself to such a level that you become completely wiped off, like unconscious. The side effect of it is tremendously full of suffering. You not only vomit and throw, you simply do things, simply say things, then you can end up having a lot of complication. And our society, the police can also give you summons, can actually put you into jail. Then there are a lot of wrong things that manifest after people drink and get themselves very drunk, or the fight, the argument, or whatever. They all started with the drinking process. So all this we can witness and see. Okay, I read on. If people rely on drugs to get to emptiness and are unable to get there without them, have they reached emptiness or not? They are fooling themselves. Some people would not believe you if you told them that they have not attained emptiness. But when the confused teacher tells them that they have indeed attained emptiness, they believe him. Isn't this pitiful? It is just as if they were holding onto a piece of, the analogy is very strong, excrement, and not wanting to exchange it for some fine pastry. They think excrement tastes better. Would you deem such people smart or stupid, confused? This is not an exaggeration. The situation is actually worse than that. Yeah, very true. Why? Because they are losing their humanity. They do not know that in order to be human, they should possess genuine wisdom. In believing illusionary or false state, they are to be pitied. To deal with such people, the Buddha said to them, I have something even more wonderful than drugs that you can take along. Unlike drugs that take you to that so-called emptiness, or they call hallucinated state. When you are on them and drop you down when they have run their course. If you believe in my Dhamma, you can stay in emptiness forever. You don't have to come down at all. Those who have been attached to defiled experiences were thus led to believe in the Buddha. They believe in the Four Noble Truths, the 12 links of Paticca the law of dependent origination, the 6 paramitas and the my right practice, the essential Dhamma. For their sake, the Buddha taught them the 3 vehicles, bringing to the attention of living beings the suffering of the 3 rhymes. The Buddha wanted all living beings to understand that the rhyme of desire, the rhyme of form, and the formless rhyme are rife with suffering. They are within samsara. He thought that there was not a single good place within them. Then the sutta says, I teach and expound the path of transcendence. The Buddha expounded for all living beings the wonderful Dhamma for transcending the world. There are 3 aspects to the world: the material world, the sensual world, and the world of perfect awakening. What is the material world? The material world refers to living beings' circumstantial reward. What is the sensual world? The sensual world encompasses all living beings, means the sentient beings. What is the world of perfect awakening? The world of perfect awakening refers to the world defined by the presence of the Buddha. The Buddha teaches mundane Dhamma, transcendental Dhamma, and Dhammas that are both mundane and transcendental. You remember the 3 types of seeing? Mundane seeing, which refer to mundane people's perception. And these are the mundane aspect of the Dhamma. Then you have the supramundane Dhamma, or the transcendental Dhamma. Means the conditioned world's Dhamma and the unconditioned world's Dhamma. Then he teaches the Dhamma of both mundane and supramundane. Means transcendental and the conditioned Dhamma. So you have to understand and develop the wisdom of both in order to understand life and live life. Okay, we move on. If these children set their mind to it, they will perfect the 3 spiritual insights. Suppose that each of these living beings has selected and decided what Dhamma to practice. What are the 3 spiritual insights? If you do not remember the 3 spiritual insights, then they will become the 3 confusion. What should you do? Don't worry. Don't be anxious. I will explain them to you now. When you understand the 3 spiritual insights, you are no longer confused. The 3 spiritual insights are spiritual insight into the past, spiritual insight into the present, and spiritual insights into the future. The spiritual insight into the past refer to spiritual insights into past life, which enable one to know the affairs of living beings, previous lives. Maybe you have an insight like this. Oh, I was a scholar in my previous life. I got a PhD, but then died of exhaustion. What a pity. My illness caught up with me and took my life right away, right after I have the PhD. Just as I was dying, I had an awakened thought. This is too much suffering. In my next life, I am going to study the Buddha Dharma and cultivate. And so in this life, I met the Dhamma Master and listened to lectures on the Sutta. Once I understood this Sutta, I decided to leave home and become a monk. That's how it happened. That's one of the possible insights. Someone else who attains spiritual insight into past life might think, oh, so I was a shepherd in the mountains in my previous life. I felt that my life wasn't very interesting and that it would be better to study the Buddha Dhamma. Unfortunately, I never encountered the Buddha Dhamma and have a chance to understand it in that life. As I died, I vow that in my next life, when I was still young, I will encounter the Buddha Dhamma, listen to the sutta lectures, and cultivate. That must be why in this life I've encountered the Buddha Dhamma. So these are the various types of examples. It doesn't mean that you have to have the psychic to look at past life, no need. When you go through the cultivation, especially the Bodhisattva way, you will actually recall all this. How when you start as a ordinary Puthujjana in your cultivation, maybe a long time ago, before you know the Dhamma, the worldly thing actually lure you, entice you, and deceive you, delude you. That's why most living beings, they have to go through suffering, entanglement. Then, one day, during one of these lives, maybe they encounter a cultivator, a wise person, who explained to them that life need not be like this. Life need not have suffering. Suffering need not be. And there are understanding that can allow you to liberate your mind and go beyond suffering. Then to realize the deathless element and to understand this teaching. So the question that living beings who go through life must develop as understanding is, after going through long enough, experiencing it now, have you ever contemplated what type of future you want? That is the most important question. That's why the Bodhisattva way, the yellow card they have given you, is a very concise but very powerful understanding. So that the moment you have this understanding, you make the vow, the adhitthana, and determine strongly with your faith, your sincerity and understanding and merits for causes and conditions for you to have this type of important Dhamma understanding, life after life, whenever you arise, or you choose to come, or you have to come. Once you planted this seed of Bodhi deep, sincerely, then this Bodhi mind is planted or activate and they will arise. Then you will be able to continue the cultivation. Then how to actually develop affinity with the Triple Gem. Having affinity with Triple Gem is very important, and the Buddha has taught us. Whatever Dhamma activity, you must have the pre-puja, the post-puja, then the reciting of the refuges. You see, Buddhang saranang gacchami, to the Buddha I go for my refuge. Dhammang saranang gacchami, to the Dhamma I go for my refuge. Then Sangha, the Aryan Sangha, or the enlightened disciple of the Buddha. To the Sangha, I go for my refuge. These are very important, what they call refuge, that you have to take. Because without this refuge, you cannot find his teaching, that I explained. That's why establishing affinity in the Triple Gem is very important. That's why he teaches you how to develop merits and affinity with the Triple Gem. First, by reciting the salutation. Then also pay homage. So when we pay homage, we recite. For our case, I have modified it from Mahayana, then go back to the Theravada, where the two teachings are connected actually. That's why I chant the Mahayana one first, then continue with the Theravada chanting. Then after that, we immediately continue to recite the salutation to the Buddha. Homage to thee, the blessed one, the blessed one, the worthy one, and the fully enlightened one. Means Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. We repeat 3 times. Then after that, we chant the 3 refuges. And these 3 refuges are very important. And we chant it 3 times. Dutiyampi, Tatiyampi. So all this is to create affinity. Then when we go for spiritual classes, practice, retreat, or spiritual trip, or at home, at the altar, you pay respect. You listen to chanting like that day, the Sunday class. You listen to the sharing by Brother Wong. He actually very, very lucky and blessed. Actually, the doctor also say the chance is very slim, where the disease is very severe actually. And he got this type of coming obstruction. That's why he know how to ask for coming obstruction. Then he have faith. He listened to all the mantras, the chanting and all those things, and the faith actually gave him the causes and condition to actually transform his mind state. He experienced the tranquility, the stillness, the pure awareness state. That's why he healed. Then when he go through the operation, the doctor himself also was surprised because he's that type of operation involving the intestine, the entanglement of the intestine. Normally it's very difficult, and most of the time the operation is without much success on, because normally when they diagnose this, means inside got problem already. Then the doctor, surgeon came out and told him, "Oh, you're very lucky. No entanglement, nothing. Your intestine, they just did what they have to do. The part that had the fistula leaking one, they just cut and they sew it back. And he recovered. And he recovered so fast now. Total, I think, he hospitalized for 1 month. After the operation, I think he went through the thing another 3 or 4 months. So total 4 or 5 months, he is back already. No need to use the back with the tube to drain off the whatever that leak out of the fistula thing. In fact, many people have this problem. I have witnessed many with the back, not easy. But his case was fantastic. And because he has this affinity with the triple gem, and before he also have a lot of karmic negativity, he got a lot of this suffering on health issue to go through. But with what happened, I told him, very lightly I use the word, because of what he had shared with us and the affinity. I say from now onward, he will recover and do well, and he will progress very well too. So that faith is the one that drives, and the affinity with Triple Gem, with the teaching, the true teaching, is very important. But once you receive them, like this life, if you all have gone through this, if you are serious about life, what must you do? Tell me, what must you do? You determine from now onward, all your future life when you come, you must have this understanding, isn't it? Otherwise you come for what? To suffer. To continue with the heedless way, deluded way, and entangle yourself with all the what they call lack of understanding of life, lack of understanding of what is going on, and continue to entangle yourself. If you come and suffer like that, you might as well don't come, but you don't have a choice, because the law of karma brings you here. Unless you cultivate and develop the understanding, then cultivate the subtle way, then you can choose to come. You don't have to come. Have to come means the law of karma take you here. You got no choice. You cannot say no, you don't want to come. Without you knowing, you continue to come. And whether you suffer or whether you come to suffer or to become afflicted, it all depends on your understanding. And most living beings, sad to say, they suffer a lot, especially during non-sasana. You are lucky, this window, there is this sasana, you can still learn the Dhamma. But do you know, even the sasana is here. You look at the world, how many of them really have the condition to encounter the true Dhamma? Very rare. And most of them don't have the affinity. But not necessary that only so-called Buddhists, I use the word in inverted comma, that labor can have this Dhamma. No. Whoever who has virtue, sincerity, understanding, they can also have this type of understanding, the teaching. Because wisdom comes from virtue. Wisdom comes from understanding. So you can avoid all evil, do good, and purify your mind to develop the wisdom so that you will not entangle yourself with life. Then you will have the good life. That's why the Buddha says, as long as the Noble Eightfold Path is there to guide living beings, then the world will not be empty of enlightened beings. He never say as long as Buddhists are around. No, he never used this word. Because that thing is just a label. But if you put it to practice, his teaching, and you understand the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the path following his advice to avoid all evil, to good, and purify the mind to develop all the requisite wisdom to understand life and to live life, then you won't go wrong. Okay, I have to end, so exceeded time already. Okay, we mark this page. Okay. We are at page 807. Okay, now we continue our second session. So tonight we will get Alicia to continue her sharing.
Good evening, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Karapita. Brother Teo, actually, 我想 continue a bit on 我的meditation reporting.
可以。
好 ，OK，actually 那天我打电话给 PG， 我跟他说，有一个医师跟我讲要早睡早起，5点就好起。对不对？我就说 OK， 我今天早去睡，然后我就去睡 ，after that 3 o'clock 我就起来了。OK， 3 o'clock 起来 ，then 我的 mind 没有被 disturb 的，因为我现在已经习惯起来就早起就做别的东西了。然后 that 我就去 sitting。After that 我的 sitting， 就是他那个 awareness of 那个 spacious awareness， 不然就讲的就非常明白了。
哇
，OK，so after that 我就 continue 我去我的 pickleball game 咯，Then after 我的 pickleball game， 我的 friend 就约我吃饭，我其实是不想去，然后 OK 啦，因为朋友OK 就去。那我回到家是2点半左右 ，after that 做一下子，然后去冲了凉，过后就2点53分吧。那我讲，哎呀 ，class 要 start 了，我怎么办？紧躺一下罢了，OK， 躺一下，然后躺那个一下就很快就。 I think 我叫他叫 unconscious 了，已经睡着了 ，OK。但是当我出来的时候，他一出来的时候我是那个 pure awareness，then after that。慢慢呢，你就这一次他很慢，所以让我看得比较清楚。然后他就慢慢那个 sense data，慢慢 ，then after that 就you know 上去头脑那边，然后 then 慢慢我才有那个conscious，then after that perception 才慢慢 perceive 我的 body， 慢慢这样才就整个人知道这个整个 process 这样子，所以就是这样子的一个 reporting。
Very good, very good. Because that is how a cultivator, when you have developed the mind to that stability, and you can go into that state of so-called spacious awareness without a center, then that nature actually shine for is very different, and it will develop a lot of understanding. Then when you know how to develop that type of meditation over a period of time, when your cultivation has stabilized, then there are situations where the mind will enter into this so-called state of cessation. But it depends on the cultivator and to what extent it has gone in. So most of the time, if it is the one that has developed the understanding already, then the cessation can happen on its own. Means the Dhamma stability of understanding of what this universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, especially the anatta nature, the non-self nature. This anatta nature and non-self nature are related, is linked to emptiness, empty nature of existence, no reality. Think also like that, don't think also like that. Because these are all sankhara activity, dependent, originating, condition, rising, cause. So your conditioned Dhamma, you must understand it very well, very stable. Then the unconditioned, you also realize it in your meditation when you go through that cessation. Then when you come out, this process will happen many times. But it will come to pass also. After that period, it will move on to other type of cultivation. So for her case, it is starting to happen, and more often. Then she will see it clearer and clearer. Then later on her own, she will understand. Like I always say, you will come to understand clearly, who are you? What are you? Here the meaning is very deep. Who are you? Means, is the form and mind really you? Then he will realize the form and mind is not her. Then the nature inside is not a being. He will also know. It's just a nature. And that nature, once he go into the unconditioned is different again. That cessation, it happens when the pure awareness also ceases. And that one is the realization of Nibbana, the real one. Then when you come out of it, that mind, the first to come out is like I draw the 4 circle formation. The first to come out is the pure awareness nature. It's just that nature come out. Then from there, the movement start. Of course, she mentioned the sense data. That one is later. Well, later, when this pure awareness is starting to come out into what we call deep inside, it starts to come out. Then from there, it will know that this thing is coming in to repeat its so-called mundane activity and all those things. And you can sense it one. Then the sense data are very clear on one by one. Before it imprints, you also know. And then after it imprints, what happened? And how you input your content of consciousness, or how you retrieve. Well, all this like slow motion inside for you to see. And there's clarity on. There is no such thing as you're the mundane Maya. Whoa. It's like lightning speed like that. Entanglement, and you are not aware at all. It has become like completely unconscious activity and movement. Although you are consciously living life, but you are lost in thought. Means you are not with your pure nature awareness. That's why you cannot see all this. Then that sankhara activity for mundane people, they think a lot. They are like heedless. The word heedless is a very good word. It's like you think a lot. You think a lot. You continuously, this thinking like cannot stop. But when you come out from that pure awareness nature, all this don't come and interfere because the mundane activity has not started yet. Then from inside, you slowly come out. Then the pure awareness nature develops the movement. Then this one, I remember, later on when she go through the real cessation, she will know. The pure awareness can break up into 3 areas. One, go to the head, the brain here. Then this one, like a dynamo, like become alive again, like become active again. But before you go into cessation, you will know this whole brain, the whole thing, like completely quiet, no movement at all, like the you call it a transformer or the dynamo. You see, when it has electricity, it's actually moving on. Sometimes it may be like not much sound, like very quiet, like your car, the thing until very quiet. But when it comes to cessation, the whole brain shut down, like no movement, nothing, completely nothing. But you are not dead. You are not dead, and there is no activity at all. Completely no activity. The normal living being here, non-stop thinking on the activity here. A lot of movement inside, especially here, the brain area, respond to memory. That's why thought is respond to memory. You can see all the movement. And here, very heavy on normal human being. That's why later on when you have the awareness, you will come back here. You're aware from here, the heart. But the heart, you have to be careful. There are 2 points. One is the center, the other one is towards the left. For most people, it's towards the left. The left one is the gateway. You should stay at the gateway there. The center is where the emotion is. When your thought activity, you stir your mind, it makes you emotional. Your anger, your fear, your hatred, your emotion, all from here. That's why simtia, they always say, when you got problem, your heart ache. Because the emotion is felt here and now. So this is where the emotion body is. It's also actually that feeling aggregate. That feeling has been conditioned into like and dislike and emotion. So from feeling has become emotion. But at the gateway, it don't have. It don't have. Because it's not an aggregate. It's complete stillness, silence. That's why when you stay at the heart, you let it move. You let it move. Then you will detect the gateway on its own. So this process that she go through, she has experienced it many times. But the real one, when it comes, the complete cessation, shut down, she will know. But she has gone through the glimpse and all those things. Otherwise, her wisdom cannot go up one. Then, how deep inside? Actually, once your pure awareness also no more, you cannot talk about it. You cannot talk about it. But when she come out, she will understand one. Then I remember the first thing to start is the brain here. This one like a dynamo, start the movement. Then all the sankhara activity and movement, it show it to you, slow motion. You can be at the moment of perception, moment of consciousness, moment of input of content. And because you have the Dhamma understanding, you will not do it like the normal Puthujjana already. You cannot already. That's why they say impossible to break the precept or violate the nature's law. You cannot do things that is selfish and all those things. You cannot already. That's why the cultivation is very different. And this type of realization and sharing is very useful. Where this one you cannot find in books. Unless that person who has gone through the cultivation write it down or share it with you. And as far as my nature know, very few people can have this type of understanding. Very, very rare, very few. So awareness-based meditation is completely different from thought-based. And this type of understanding and sharing can only arise from the real cultivator of the way. That's why we should rejoice in all this sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good, Alicia.
因为 brother 那时候我是感觉非常的累，非常非常的累，好像哇，一躺下去就睡了。
就是最累的时候是最好的 ，because that time you shut down everything.
Yes.
Because the craving force all like gone and it cease. You will know how to do that one. Then, like you say, this maybe like you. To you, it's like you go into the unconscious. But it is like that initially because you may not understand all this that clearly yet. Because when I met my last guy also, I remember the one New Zealander I told you. He asked me, when first time when I was there with him, I went in cessation. I was in his house. I was lying down on like Huirong sit on the type of couch. But his one, the backrest very tall one. So I was lying down there. Then I went into cessation. Then he was lying behind me, behind me, in the hall, behind me. And he also meditated, and he know I went in, but he cannot understand what I did, He cannot understand what happened, but he knows it's something he has not experienced before, the complete cessation. Then after I came out, he also arised. Then he stand up and he looked down upon me. I was on the couch. He said, "What happened?" Then I just smiled. Then that time I just came out of that. I got no words to explain all this. I said, I don't know. I said, but something very beautiful happened. I said, I went into complete cessation. I said. Then when I came out, I said, like everything has become clear. Then I said, I understand the whole oneness nature. Like the word pneumona. You heard of this word, phenomena and pneumona? These two words you haven't heard before. Phenomena you heard before. Yeah. Phenomena is all the activity and movement within the complete pneumona. Pneumona is the oneness, but completely that pure awareness nature only. Means within that pneumona, all phenomena arise. Yeah. Then I say, after that I say, I understood the whole creation. I say, like everything is so clear to me. Who am I? What am I? What is this form? Am I? Everything. Then how all this manifest and arise, return, dependent originating. Then I say everything is like not so real, not what you think. I say he know you, he know me. Then he was so amazed, he liked it so much. That's why later on, after I left him, I think it was almost 20 years later, I think. 20 years later. Then, when somehow we met again, where he decided to take Malaysia, my second home, he came back to Penang. Then he also couldn't contact me. I also couldn't contact him because that time no handphone, nothing. So what happened was, there were news that he came back. Then I was teaching my first batch, Kayamita, you remember? They want to meet him. That's why I said, okay lah, we try lah. We try our luck lah, we travel to Penang. They end up, we met him. The moment he saw me, he was full of joy. Then he said, did anyone come to you? Because before I left him, he purposely called somebody, one Kayamita, to arrange his bungalow in Ampang there. Very quiet place and very nice nature, I would say. To meet me one-to-one alone. And I remember I went there afternoon, I think after lunch. Then I was with him for almost 4 hours. Then we just talked. And he kept on telling me, he said, Hugh, in this universe, we don't need people. You and me and we can talk. Then I explained a lot of other things to him. Then after that, he advised me, he said, he already knew at that time, I think. He said, once you got no more earthly guide who can guide you, the astral one will come, he said. Means in the astral plane, like what he met, the Himalayas one, the 600 years old one, that taught him that type of meditation or so on. But 20 years later, after he met me, the first thing he asked me, did anybody come? I said, nobody come. I said, you are the last. After that, no more. I said, neither earthly or astral until today. Until that day I met him, which is, I think I met him again was, I think 2008 must be. Where I start teaching the first batch 2004 in Yun Chan Liao. Must be 2008 or 2010, around that time. Oh yeah, around 2008. Where I bought this house. Then he also came down from Penang and actually teach some people here. So because of that, what I want to share with you all is all this understanding when it arises and manifests, even he also haven't experienced, where he go the consciousness, he never go through the cessation, which is not the Buddhist way of understanding that whole thing. Then because of what happened, the Dhamma side, he actually don't have, because he's not a Buddhist. He is actually, he started with Christianity, I think. His father was a Raja Yoga, also meditator, very powerful concentration and jhana. Then when he was very young, he was very different also. But at the age of 35, he's supposed to die. He didn't die. I think one very powerful master from Kalimantan, Chinese. He showed me the photo. He's a Chinese. Ape, I call him Ape. Very short one from China. came out through Gobi Desert. That time the communist cultural revolution and all things, they actually fled from there, many. Then he was one of them. Then he came to Kalimantan. Then a lot of all this spiritual thing happened. Then the Ape was told to contact him and help him to actually heal so that he don't die at the age of 35. And because he got a very weird character, he want to heal himself. He don't want the Ape to do it for him. The Ape said, "You sure? If I do it for you, immediately you recover. You do yourself, it'll take you a long time," he said. That's why he chose to do himself. He said, "Otherwise I depend on you. When you know more, I don't know how to do with it." So he wants to do it. So he learned that type of meditation, the awareness based from the Ape. But they are occult field. They go in the pure energy. They energy based. Very different. So occult is pure psychic, not the negative psychic type. This is occult. OCCULT. So because of that, I think he had to go through also 20 years. I remember he told me he was very sick, 35 until 55. He starts to slowly heal. Then after that, he started to understand Krishnamurti's teaching. He started to understand, but he's basically a Christian base. But he is like atheist like that on. But he liked to read spiritual book. But the normal spiritual book he cannot read on. Initially, we have people pass him Buddhist book. He flicked the Buddhist book. He said, "What type of nonsense is this?" Because those books cannot explain what he went through. But Krishnamurti one, he liked. So when he met me also, he actually, after he know me, then he discussed with me. He said, "Now you know what awareness is. What is the Buddhist book trying to put there? Mindfulness. Where got mind?" He said. Then I reflect, why they put the word mindfulness? Then I said, then I reflected, mindfulness means continuous awareness, mindfulness. This is mindfulness. But they never say full of what? If your mind is full of thought, that is not mindfulness. So, if your mind is fully aware without thought, that is mindfulness. Then he say, use the correct word lah. Why go and use this type of word? Very confusing. Mindfulness. Yes, full of what? He said. Full of thought. That is not awareness, he said. Full of awareness without thought. That is the real sati or mindfulness. Sorry, not mindfulness. He preferred the word awareness. That's why Krishnamurti also used the word awareness. When you aware before the knowing, that is sati. That is the pure awareness nature. That's why the world don't have this understanding. That's why after that, the rest is history. Okay? Yeah. Now you continue with another 8 minutes, 7 minutes.
Right, actually, 当我就说我出来，我就懂那个10个那个
对，
第3、第4
那个 spacious awareness or the
就我明白到这个怎么样从 pure awareness 怎样 manifest 成一个我们的所谓的 phenomenal world， 但是我找不到 words 怎样去 explain， 所以我就 reflect， 我是照着我大概是这样讲，但是我出来的时候我是明白，但是没有字，我不懂怎么样讲。
We're not stable yet. That time you cannot explain one. Like that time when he asked me after he stand up and was saying, I only can use the word I understand Means I understand the Dhamma. Actually, before I met him, I don't need him to teach me the Dhamma already. Because the Dhamma I already realized already at that time. I already connect. But the gateway, I don't know. It would have taken me at least 10 to 15 years to locate it myself. But because of him, because of my vow, he has to come. Yeah. Then somehow, normally the sign will come. Normally 1 time, 2 times, I will go already. I know I have to go already. I have to travel or meet that person or what. But that person, that time, because I was ready already after 1989, I was ready. I don't need teacher already, actually, technically. Then Hsuan, the sign keep on coming on. No. I don't want to see, but the sign keep on coming on. 6 times, no. I say, I don't know who he is. I say, inside, tell me, he is the person you must meet. That's it. Then I agree. And finally he came, on the 7th time, that 7th occasion that I met him. The moment I met him, I already knew. He held my hand. His vibration also very different. Then he also held my hand. He also know my vibration very different. He straight away tell me, Mr. Teo, at that time very formal, he called me Mr. Teo. Well, he doesn't know me, he haven't met me, but he heard a lot about me. Then he said, I don't know what they have told you in Singapore. He said, forget about it. He said, what I want you to understand is, I only teach 4 things. Then I listened. I said, what are the 4 things? He said, relax, aware. The 3rd one, he used 24 hours. And trust. Wow! Straight away my nature rejoiced. I said, the first 3 I have already done it. He straight away said, I knew. Then he held my hand. He know my sati, my mindfulness already very stable. Then he said, the last one, he said, trust. Then he asked me, what now? Do you trust me? Because when I held his hand and he talked to me that way, I said, yes, I trust you. He said, okay. He sit down. But before that, I said, you haven't taken dinner. He said, oh, he said, yeah. Okay, we go dinner. So I took them to the Genting, the Kampong restaurant, I remember. Very nice dinner. Then we came back. Immediately, once he reached the house, he said, okay, are you ready? I said, yes, sit down. Then he just, I remember his right hand, about 2 inches away from my heart now, on the left there. He just silent everything. I also silent, where I can relax, silent also. Relax, aware. He said 24 hours means continuous awareness. Then I suddenly detect a very soothing type of vibration that hit one part of my heart there, the left. Then because I already know how to relax and silent, the energy just went in. Then I realized he only activated it. He didn't pass me the energy. He just activated that point. Then after that, because I already know how to relax, my yin-yang energy just melt inside there. Both sides. The yin and the yang. Then I become so still. Completely no thought, like perfectly tuned. My whole body, like no vibration thing. Like the engine perfectly tuned until almost no sound. Then what happened was, I was there, stay in that state for 2 hours. Then I knew what that thing is already. Then I didn't do anything. Then that thing moved by itself, activate by itself, and transform me like anything inside there. Then after that, when I came out, I become like completely still and without thought. no need to do mindfulness, nothing. No. That nature has stabilized and silent completely. That's why after that I knew what that thing is. Then from there onward, technically I don't need him, because after that I think not long he left. He has to go back to Singapore, fly back to New Zealand. Then for many years I haven't seen him. Then after that, I think 20 years later, only condition arise, met him again. Then that time, I was doing all these things on my own. Then because of my past, when I connect and when I manage to realize the gateway, then I do that transformation. Then I reach back the level I was cultivating not long after that. 9 months later, I remember, my Monday mind collapsed. I was like Liu Chu Hui Neng's mind, without the Monday mind. Then after that, I start to understand what the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development and all those things. When we went to Taiwan, I saw that book at Fa Kusan, a small booklet, never explain anything, but the 5 stages of Bodhi mind development. The moment I read, I understand what that thing is. That's why all this is meant to be. If you have not gone through all this, you cannot understand one. You cannot develop the understanding and the sharing. And because of causes and conditions, that's why Maitreya came in 2008 and requested me to come out to share. So I met him in 89, I remember, after I connect. Then the year 2008, Maitreya's message came. So 2008, 89, actually it was almost almost 19 years later. Then only Maitreya's nature's message came, request me to come out and share this. That's why after that I already knew what this thing is. And also very lucky because, meant to be because of my vow. That vow bring him to come and meet up with me and show me the gateway. Where I want to realize the highest wisdom at any one time when my nature arrives. So because of that, I was ahead of time. Then when I already completed the training and the understanding and the Mandima collapse, it was 1989. That time hardly anybody understand what I went through. And how to teach that time? Cannot. That's why 15 years later, 2004, then only condition arise, Yun Chang came, then I started to come. And when I started to come and teach, I have to go back to very, very basic, essential Dhamma. At first I thought what they need is the teaching, the Dhamma. But when I share, hardly anybody understands. That's why I had to revert back to the very basic Theravada teaching. And that time I remember I was at Hsuan's house, the 3 evil root, the 5 spiritual faculty, the 5 mental hindrance. Then Dhammapada was 21 days to 23. All the essential Dhamma, I had to repeat all those things. Because the base was not established and it was not easy to teach. Then I realized what the Buddha went through. You remember after his enlightenment, after that 7 weeks, he was contemplating how all these things which is so amazing, how can he teach to people? No way people can understand. Then that Brahma Sahampati, as you can read his mind, knew that need to talk to him, the Buddha. Then he came now, circumvented, paid respect, and told the Buddha, There are some with little dust in their eye who can understand the teaching. You should come out and teach. And because of that, the Buddha contemplated. And he said, oh yeah, the two teachers, Alara Uddaka. Then he checked. Both of them also passed away already. One 1 week ago, the other one the day before. And meant to be because of their strong belief in that 7 jhana, 8 jhana, that formless rhyme, rebirth. So because of that, he contemplated for, then the 5 ascetic and the son of that follow him. That's why he went there. For me, I also have people that actually together cultivate with me, but they all do jhana on completely different. Hardly anybody do awareness one. So they did talk and discuss, but they cannot understand what I was trying to share. So I think we go separate way. Then there was a slight misunderstanding during my second teacher, because they all still cling on to her and all those things. Then I moved away because I cannot learn much already. Then I met my last guy. And my last guy teaching was so weird, nothing to do with Buddhism. They all cannot agree. Then they keep on telling me, this one wrong, don't go. I said, this is your choice. I said, if you cannot understand, then I cannot blame you for having that view. So because of that, there was also a slight split at that time with the second guy. But later on they knew he was energy field and all those things. So because of that, I continue with my last guy. Then I can't even find anybody who can understand where I can share and teach. That's why I didn't do anything. So it was like Huining with the hunters, but I was not with the hunter. I was with human beings for 15 years. 89 until 2004. Then only causes and conditions arise. Then my nature inside tell me, about time you come out and share. That's how the whole thing happened. We better end to 10:35 already. Okay, let us rejoice. You summarize, Alicia.
Brother, 还有很多要讲，但是没有时间。毕竟
future class
Yes, actually, 我现在逐渐开始明白到为什么 Brother 叫我们要发愿。还有所有的 Dharma 现在全部好像开始全部 patch up 一起了。
Actually, enough for you already. The Sutta more than enough. Then the Bodhisattva way also. The Dhamma you have enough already to cultivate for very, very long. And more important is make that vow, affirmation, the faith, the sincerity, adhitan, and the Bodhisattva vow, better do. You remember Brother Wong? When he was admitted in the hospital, so sick, he also do. Understand? Almost every day he do. So these are the faith you must maintain, and it will manifest and come to good use when the time comes.
Yeah, but you actually, 很惭愧，其实那个 yellow card 我每次读都哭到不得了，所以我根本就没有读到几回。但是我现在比较好一点点，现在我每一个晚上还在睡觉前我都会读，所以这个愿我希望我的一点点的 understanding 是想跟大家讲，这个 yellow card 还有这个发愿，它就好像我们的指南针。带着我们走，所以感恩大家。阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛，sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. The other thing that you have to understand is, like I always tell some Kayamitas, I think quite a number I've told them, if this life, you cannot develop the understanding until so stable and so clear, in the future when you come, you don't hope of ever having that understanding. Because you have to contemplate, reflect until very, very clear, until the whole understanding is so clear. then no need book, don't remember anything, it's all inside your nature. Then you vow to have this understanding life after life when you come. That's why all this, how did it come back to me? You think I brought them along? No. This life, all this come back to me through my past. That's why I inherited that. Then a lot, like I told you all, I never learned this life. That's why the way I come out with all this book, even the Kayamita grouping, you think I start first, then try error again. Everything was already from the understanding planned until today, and nothing has changed. The last 21 years, my teaching and sharing, nothing has changed. Understand? People normally evolve over time. Then as they teach, they change. We have new things arise. But this understanding is like the Dhammapada verse, evergreen one. No need to change. It's not there. That's why you look back, everything I do and share, you look at all the transcript, you go and read. Everyone is a gem. Everyone is from that nature come out. So this type of Dhamma, you must tell yourself, express your gratitude for what you have done in the past, the causes and conditions, for you to have this condition to receive all this understanding. And make sure you adhitan, develop the vow, and take it seriously, and with the faith, sincerely commit yourself to it and vow. Then, life after life, you must have this understanding, so that the bodhi mind that is planted, faith, with the faith and the understanding and the sincerity, and with all your merits, where you vow your merit following the yellow card, they will actually activate itself and move and take you along. And this is like your future coming all secure. That's why I said just now in the sharing of this Surangama Sutta, Lotus Sutra. Once you understand the big picture of this, if I were you, I would have made that vow long ago. But this is life and death to me, not only this life, life after life. And all my coming depend on all this understanding. What else are you wasting your time for? The rest are not important. This one, get it right. Then every life you come, you become so beautiful. Then follow the advice of the Buddha. Seriously commit yourself to avoid all evil, do good, and purify your mind and develop all this understanding and perfect your parami, your virtue, your understanding. If you do this, you become beautiful. Okay? We better end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will share merit, transfer merit, then we end. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu loka sasana etta vata chamihi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo vasattakalena sasa sampati Vito bhavatu lokocha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. There we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.